Daniel Gotera here with Jeff Jones from our sister station KVUE in Austin. You got a pretty good basketball team with the Texas Longhorns. What can you tell me about them?
I can tell you that if some of your viewers there in Houston who are jumping off of the UH bandwagon because their run is over, well, they are welcome to jump on the UT bandwagon, but you got to get your rosters nearby and get used to referencing those. One thing about this team that you need to know is that anybody can be the leading scorer on any night. They've had 7 different players this season who have led the team in scoring in a game, including 3 different players in each of the NCAA tournament wins. So just get used to learning new names.
Look, earlier in the season, if you had told Longhorns fans that, hey, you're going to be in the Elite Eight, that was probably a crazy thought. Obviously, we all know what happened. Chris Beard let go, all that turmoil, but then they just found a new gear this year. What was the key to that?
I think it was trust. It was relationships, and it was defense. So if you want to start with the actual basketball X's and O's part of it, this team knows how to defend. They've held most of their recent opponents in the postseason to about 58 points or fewer, which is outstanding when in the postseason you're playing the best of the best. So that defense keeps them in games. One thing that they don't do well, they don't show you consistent offense in almost every game. The Horns are going to go 5-6 minutes without a field goal, which should be like a 12-0 run for the other team.
Yeah, that happened to U of H a lot.
Yeah.
But somehow,
So
like that, like U of H with defense, Texas seems to do the same.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Instead of surrendering like a 12-0 run, the defense keeps them in it, and those are usually like 2-0 runs, so really tough basketball to watch, 6 minutes with just 2 total points, but that keeps them in games until the offense does show up, which it almost always does.
And lately that offense has shown up. I mean, really started in the Big 12 title game against Kansas, and then it just kind of carried over in the tournament, hasn't it?
It has, and it's kind of gone. That offense has gone as Dylan DeSue, the tallest player on a fairly short team, 6'9". He's a local kid from Pflugerville, just outside of Austin. He became the leading scorer around the time you mentioned against Kansas, the end of the regular season, and his trajectory looked like this, kind of flat all season long, and it just peaked during the postseason.
Yeah.
But he went out with a bone bruise in his left foot. We don't know at the moment if he's going to be able to play in the Elite Eight matchup against Miami. We're hoping so, because the offense looks a lot better when Dylan DeSue is on the court.
Why have they been able to gel so well under the circumstances that were really presented to them, that these guys didn't ask for it? The coach is gone, and now kind of a new mindset, new staff, and in a way kind of takes over, and they've really just gelled, and that's pretty amazing in a way.
Amazing is a great word to describe, and I think there are 2 things that are responsible for that. One of them, there are 6 seniors on this team. So it's not like these are a bunch of young guys who are still learning how to play at this level, learning what it means to lead and be led. These are guys who have been there, done that before. So when they faced adversity, though it was uncommon and tough adversity, they were ready to respond. But another thing, and the storyline that a lot of people are talking about, is the interim head coach, Rodney Terry, and people want to focus on that interim word. I'm sure that will get taken care of.
I sure hope so, because I think he's earned the head coaching job at this point.
You know, and I'd argue he earned that a few weeks ago, but definitely by now, and the players agree with that, but he just is so calm, so open, and so honest. He's told us the lessons that he learned when his father, one of his best friends in the world, passed away in August, are lessons that he taught to the team right when that happened. That's before he was the interim head coach. He just stepped up as a leader on the coaching staff and said, this is some adversity I'm facing right now. Watch me. This is how you handle adversity. And sure enough, a few months later, the people who were learning from him were put to the test. And so every so often he tells us about that adversity that he faced in his life and how it's impacting this team. And the players bring that up too, so you know they're watching, they're learning, they're listening.
And he seems just very relatable. Angleton guy, Angleton, Texas product. He just seems really relatable. You see him in the videos, the post-game celebrations. I mean, he's just a down-to-earth type guy. And it seems to me from an outsider's perspective that he is loving this ride just as much as the guys are.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I also think that, and this is just me thinking out loud here, I think that has something to do with the fact that the interim tag is still there. I legitimately believe that Rodney Terry is enjoying this ride so much and wants to see how this ride plays out before that news breaks, that deal is complete. And let's be honest, with every win, there's some money being added to that future deal that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And now, look, they're 1 win away from going back home to the Final Four in Houston. I can only imagine what NRG Stadium is going to be like with all that burnt orange. What is that talk leading up to this game? Have you heard maybe the chatter with the player. They don't really talk about it. Maybe one game at a time, but hey, look, it's there. It's just like U of H. It was right there.
Yeah,
U of H couldn't get it done, but Texas is right on the front door.
Yeah. So from the players, we are hearing a little bit of chatter. You know, they do say the one game at a time thing, but now that one game that they're focused on is the one to reach a huge goal that they've had for really 2 years. That's when the roster was really overhauled. It was 2 years ago, and their goal was to make it to the Final Four. They are one game away from that. So we're hearing that chatter, but in the room behind us, the media room, I'm hearing a lot of chatter from you and some of the other Houston guys about the restaurants we need to go by, the nightlife in Houston.
Absolutely.
So I need UT to win this game so I can experience what you've been talking about.
Hey, you need to come back home too. You're a Cy Falls High School graduate,
That's right,
so you come
that's
back
right.
home, and we'd love to see you there in Houston next week. We'll see if the Horns can do it. Jeff Jones, always a pleasure talking to you, buddy.
Hey, nice chatting with you.